Hey y'all. Hello. Ew. I'm gonna stop that. That was great. Hello, welcome to my brand new channel. My name's Helen. Today I'm basically just gonna be showing you how to do this look. This is like my go-to look. It's like really simple. I don't think I used more than 5 colors. I don't remember. But yes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start to it. This is why I'm doing a voiceover. I don't know how to talk to myself. All right, y'all. Thanks. And it goes a little something like. Right, so I'm gonna start off by prepping my skin. I could go more into depth in another video if anyone does want me to make one about what I have been using lately and the products I have been using. I honestly think it does make such a big change when you do prep your skin rather than just putting primer and foundation directly onto it. So I'm gonna start off with my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I know it's supposed to be a dupe for the Tatcha primer. Can't back that because I don't have Tatcha primer anyways. But yes, that's what I do. I just spread it all over my face, make sure to get my under eyes, my eyelids. I don't really use an eye primer, so that's what I use. I'll also be using my e.l.f. brow pomade in the shade Espresso. And I'll be using my JS7 angled flat brow brush spoolie. All of the pink brushes you will be seeing are from the Jeffree Star and Morphe collection. So I'm going to start off right after that fan part in your eyebrow, at the front of your eyebrow. I just feel like that gives it more of a natural, more wispy effect at the front, and you avoid that kind of blocky eyebrow look. I then begin to just kind of create the shape that I want for my eyebrow. Because I do have darker eyebrows, I don't really fill the inside in. I just kind of fill in the areas that are a little bit sparse. Make sure to be really light on this so you avoid having a harsh brow. So to carve my eyebrow out, I'm going to be using the Balm Concealer in the shade Lighter Than Light with my Billion Dollar Brows smudge brush. I really like it. It's very flat, so I'm able to be very precise with carving it out and kind of just cleaning the shape up. As I said before, I don't really use an eyeshadow primer. This is kind of what I do. I just drag down the concealer that I use for my eyebrow. I do make sure to set it right away though, and the reason you want to do that is to avoid creasing. To set things, I will be using my favorite Airspun powder. I have the one that's translucent extra coverage, so I kind of just tap it out onto the lid, and with a flat brush, I begin to set everything. I also like to carve the top of my eyebrow out. Sometimes when I have freshly done eyebrows, I kind of skip this step, but we all know with this quarantine thing going around, I've kind of let myself go a bit, if you will. So I just carve it out. If you do happen to carve a little too much like I did, just go back in with that pomade and kind of fix everything. To blend out the concealer on the top of my eyebrow, I'm going to be using my Real Technique Expert Face Brush. Was it Real Techniques? I never can remember. But I love this brush. It gives such a seamless, like, satin, natural finish. And I know it's meant for foundation, but lately I've been using it a lot more for concealer. Okay, I have no idea what is happening here. All I know is that 1, Bad Bunny's playing in the background, and 2, I have allergies, so no, I am not sick. Thank you. Alright, so to keep my eyebrows in place, I will be using Le Beaute Batal. I have no idea if I'm saying it right. It's kind of just like a tint. It does have a little bit of color in there, but I just brush my eyebrows out with it. It's almost like hairspray for your eyebrows. I'm going to be using Urban Decay's Naked Heat palette. I'm going to start off with the shade Ounce, which is the clearest shade on there, or sorry, the lighter shade on there. And I'm just going to pat it out onto my eyelid all over just to create a base for the other colors I'll be using. So I'll be going in with the shade Low Blow with my JS5 brush. I'm going to start off with a light amount because it's always easier to build up your eyeshadow. I like to start off in the middle of my crease kind of to just blend it either way. I go in a side-to-side windshield wiper motion kind of, but I also do a little bit of circular motions to really blend it out. Now I'll be using my Morphe 35W palette, that champagne shade that I'm pointing at, and I'm going to go in with my JS11 brush. And what I like to do to make it pop a little more, I like to spritz some setting spray onto it, kind of dampen the brush, and then I just pat it onto my lid. Now with my JS6 brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Cayenne and target the outer corner of my eye. So I'm going to pat it in and blend it a little bit towards the outer corner of my crease as well. So with this, I also like to blend it a little bit outwards as well and upwards to help create or accentuate that elongated cat eye effect. So I'm going to go back in with the JS5 blending brush to just blend in together the outer corner shade and my crease shade. It just gives it a blended effect, more of the story, blend, blend, blend. So the name of this eyeliner is actually completely rubbed off. I know my mom got it in an Ipsy bag and gave it to me. I like starting off my eyeliner from the outside and shaping the wing first because in my opinion it's easier to get both of them even like this. So I will do one wing and then I do the wing on the other eye to make sure that they are both angled at the right direction. So I'll be using what has now become a holy grail, my Juno Velvet Microfiber Sponge to buff out my foundation. I'll be mixing MAC NC18 and my Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade Light Beige. So when I purchased my Juno Microfiber sponge on the packaging, it suggests how to use it, and it said to place the product directly onto your skin and not the sponge, as I guess that would impact how it goes on and the amount of product the sponge actually absorbs. I was using my Real Techniques Expert face brush before and it does work really well, but with this one it's such a nice finish. It is almost like an airbrush finish. Another tip is make sure you blend your foundation down to your neck because we cannot be walking around looking crazy. And I know right now my application looks a little crazy because I have been locked in the house, but I guarantee you as soon as this quarantine is over, I will be getting some sun. I'll be using Anastasia Cream Contour, the shade Light Beige, and this is the light palette. And for my concealer, I'll be using e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand. So for my concealer, I'm going to place it underneath my eyes in a triangle shape. Once everything is blended out, it'll kind of draw attention and brighten up your under eye. And once you put the cream contour, it'll just bring more structure to your face. I will be using that brush. I don't know what the name of it is, but I will be using it to sculpt everything out. It's so great for getting a precise line. I do have a wider face, so I like to sculpt out the sides of my face to kind of make it appear more narrow. I also like to do this thing where after I sculpt out the cheekbone area, I draw it down a bit. I did hear that this is what they do for men sometimes on sets to kind of sculpt out their jawline, but I just like doing it because I do have a pretty round face and it just helps create more structure and make it appear as though I actually have cheekbones. So this brush is perfect for contouring your nose. I like to make it kind of just narrow my nose bridge, so that's what I do, that it'll create more of a shadow effect. I also like to contour right at the tip of your nose, right at the bottom, to just give it the illusion that you have like a really perky nose basically. So to blend out the contour, I'll be using my Real Techniques brush and my Morphe M439 brush. I'll be using the Real Techniques brush to blend out the concealer portion and the Morphe brush to blend out the contour portion. To set under my eyes, I'll be using my Real Techniques sponge. I like to bake just for a little bit. I don't leave the translucent powder underneath for too long because I do have drier under eyes. And to blend out the contour area with my Morphe M439, I'm going to do stippling motions to blend out the contour. I did notice if you tend to drag it a little more, you do run the risk of wiping off foundation from your face. So I would suggest kind of doing stippling motions instead. I'll be using an e.l.f. small tapered brush and my Wet n Wild palette that needs to be replaced as soon as possible, literally. Oh my god. But I'll be using the lighter shade to brighten up my under eyes, and I'll also be placing it over any place that tends to get oily or crease a bit on my face. I don't like to go in heavy with powder because I feel like it makes me look cakey. Maybe it's just because of my skin texture, but I would just rather avoid as much powder as I possibly can. I also don't like the matte look on myself. I like to go more for a satin look. For blush, I'll actually be using my Too Faced Sweetie Pie bronzer. It's a very light shade, and it's not very pink. It gives more of a peachy color, so that's why I like using it for blush. I just place it on the apples of my cheeks, and I like to drag it back. Ew, not drag, that sounds weird. Brush it up backwards. That doesn't sound right either. Brush it upwards, to not make my face look as round as it actually is. So this Real Techniques brush was actually meant for foundation, however it did not work very well for it, but it was so pretty that I still bought it. I'm using it for my bronzer. I'm using the same bronzer from that Wet n Wild palette. I like to kind of just go over wherever I cream contoured. I also like to go underneath my chin because, like, you know, we all got a little... Well, some of us are blessed to not have more than one chin. But if you do, if that quarantine food got a little to you, just bronze right over it. To really emphasize the contour under your cheekbones, you're going to go in with a damp beauty blender and some translucent powder and just bake it for a little bit. You're just going to lightly glide it underneath and let it sit there for a bit. Using my JS12 brush, I'm gonna go in and contour my nose. I'm gonna go with a lighter bronze shade. This is Park Avenue Princess from Tarte. This is a little sample size. I like to use a lighter shade because I don't want it to look like I have a really dark brown streak on my nose, and you want it to look as natural as possible. Now that it's set for a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and dust sorry, too much Love Island, but I'm going to go ahead and dust off the translucent powder from underneath your cheekbones. With my JS 110 brush, I'm going to go in with that low blow shade again from the Naked palette, and I'm just going to smudge it underneath my eyes, right underneath my waterline, to just give it a little bit of a smoky effect. Not much. Once again, it's just going to elongate and kind of give you more of an almond shape illusion. For setting spray, I'll be using my Morphe Jeffree Star one that literally smells like strawberries. I love how evenly it sprays all over your face. You don't run the risk of random droplets, landing on your makeup and messing it up. I like to fan it just to have it dry really quick. Nikki Tutorial said to do this, and so I did it, and your makeup will stay on. For highlighter, I'll be using my Ice Me Out by Kylie. Look, it's such a pretty color. It's like a champagne color, and when it goes on your skin, it goes on so nicely. I'll be using my JS13 brush and placing it on the tip of my nose. This is on the bridge of my nose, and it's just going to give you that snatched effect. I'm also going to go on my inner corner of my eyes to brighten up my eyes a little more, and I'll be going right on the brow bone as well. One thing I didn't do on this video that I usually do is I like to place them on the cupid's bow of my lip too. For highlighter on my cheekbones, I'll be going in with my Morphe M510 brush. I like to just brush it up along my bone wherever you want the light to hit. I also like going right above my brow. That's a trick I learned recently. It just makes you look like you're glowing. Like whenever the light hits your face, you look so dewy. And if you're like me and you like to look like a glistening, just glazed donut, this makes it look a little less harsh and a little more natural. For mascara, I'm going to be using Urban Decay Perversion. It was such a great Black Friday deal. I love this mascara. It makes your eyelashes look so dark and thicker and fuller. I like to go kind of side to side to avoid clumping on my eyelashes. Since I won't be wearing falsies because this is my go-to look and I don't typically wear falsies, I like going to that outer corner of your eye where the eyelashes are and kind of just brushing your eyelashes upward to give it a little bit of that flared up effect. For lip liner, I'll be using Essence in the shade Deeply Intoxicated. I did not even realize that was a shade color, and I've had this for a bit. But I just line my lips. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, I'm just saying that because I have really shaky hands, but I go in and clean it up with some concealer, as you will see a little bit further on. I just like to line my lips normally, and then I will shade a little more in towards my lips to do kind of an ombre effect once I do put the lipstick on. For lipstick, I'll be going in with my Too Faced lipstick in the shade Sunday Funday, and I think this is also from the, well, duh, obviously it has peaches on it. It's from the Peach collection. I'm dumb. Now, I was going to leave this look right there, but as I said before, I love looking like a glazed donut, and I wanted to make sure you can see me shine from at least 6 feet away, which you all should be standing. But yeah, that was my look for today. This is my go-to makeup look. I'm not sure what I'll be doing for the next video, but thanks for watching. All right, now I'm going to go wear this look to the living room. Bye.